Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Josh. Just to go ahead and for liability reasons, I'll go ahead and say that everything in this video is my pure opinion. None of it is financial advice. Seek a financial advisor if you want any investing information or advice when it comes to crypto assets or any market. Crypto assets are highly volatile, so just understand that. And I think as long as you don't buy the top and sell the bottom, you'll probably be okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, recently, this tweet that I put out was based on predicting the next all-time high for Bitcoin. I do predict that the next all-time high is going to be around $78,000 with a 2,400% rate of return. That's based from bottom of 3,100 that we saw here in late 2018 to potentially a peak high in 2021 or early 2022. How did I come up with that? Let's go ahead and jump in and discuss that. So the chart that I use is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin. That you can find that on TradingView. Just type in Brave New Coin, you're going to find it and click on it, and then go to full featured chart here. And what's going to happen is the chart's going to pull up. Well, there's the chart there. Let me go ahead and make it naked for you. This chart is wonderful for the fact that it goes back to 2010. Most exchanges are not that old. And so Brave New Coin, they allow you to look back in history further than most exchange charts. That's what we want to do. When it comes to historical data for Bitcoin, we want to try to get the information from 2010 and 2011 as old as possible. And so if I go ahead and open this up, what you're going to notice is lots of drawings here and words, but I'll go ahead and explain that. And so the easiest thing to see is this table right here, and I put that the Bitcoin rate of return percentage from cycle bottom to new high. So I took the bottom of the down market to the next all-time high for each market cycle. And what you're going to notice is that with each market cycle, it took longer days to get from bottom to the next all-time high. Roughly, it took around 500 more days the next market cycle. It took around 300 more days the next market cycle from bottom to peak. That's why I predict that it's going to take at least 1,000 days, probably roughly around 1,200 days when it comes to bottom to peak high. We had around 500 days, 300 days, and so that's why my guesstimate is around 150 more days than the previous bottom to peak high. That's how I got 1,200 days. 1,200 days puts us in early 2022. That's going to be around March in 2022. Certainly, we can see a new all-time high in 2021. Previous market cycles usually is at the end of the year when the all-time highs come. So just be aware that, again, this is a guesstimation. 2021, 2022 would be a nice time to have an all-time high. Could be longer. We never know. With that said, I think the important thing that we want to look at is the rate of return percentage. Basically, the percent that you get on return if you were to buy the market bottom, okay? The rate of return is really high from the market cycle, the first days of Bitcoin. Anytime you can get an asset early in any asset, you're going to make the biggest return. You had over 300,000 return for Bitcoin in 2011 to the peak high. You had around 58,000, 12,000, and like I said, 24,000 or 2,400 here is my prediction. Each market cycle was around 1/5 or 20% of the previous market cycle. You can take these numbers, put it in a calculator, and see that it's very, very close to around 20%, 58,000 return compared to the previous market cycle of over 300,000. Same thing with this, almost 12,000 is close to 20% of 58,474. So my prediction is roughly around a 20% return, well, 20% compared to the last return, which is around 2,400%. I feel like this is a very, very conservative number. I feel like Bitcoin can certainly go up higher than this. But if we were to get a typical historical 20% rate of return compared to the previous market, that would put Bitcoin at an all-time high around March 2022 at 78,500. Now again, this is an estimate. we can see percentage points go up or down. It doesn't take a lot of percentage points. If we were to get a 4,000% return instead of a 2,400% return, 4,000 is still roughly 1/3 of the last return. But I'm just saying here for pure number wise, even a 4,000% of return instead of a 2,400% return would put this number not at 78,000, but at over 130,000 next all-time high. I say that because it doesn't take a lot of movement in percentage points to really move the next all-time high prediction price. And so this is definitely a conservative guesstimate. A lot of people are saying that I'm too conservative and that it's going to hit 200,000, a million. In the end, I really don't think that mass adoption is going to change this. I think that Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's a peer-to-peer protocol for payment and currency system. I don't think that it's ever going to be a world currency personally myself. I think that I don't think governments are going to allow that. I do believe that it's going to be a store of value and a commodity. And I do believe that it's also going to be used and accepted by many retail stores. But as far as mass adoption, again, I think that a lot of people are going to use it. I don't think that every person in every world is going to be using Bitcoin as far as their currency. So that's why I don't think that the rate of return is really going to be that much impacted in at least the next market cycle. For that to happen, guys, I mean, we're looking more in like to 2030s or late 2028, 2026. I mean, 2021, 2022, the rate of return is not going to be impacted that much because the mass adoption isn't going to be as high. Again, it's going to be a tradable asset. Again, there's going to be lots of instruments to trade it and to buy Bitcoin. But long term, I feel like it's safe to say that the rate of return is safe around this number and it's very conservative. Some people think that this is too high. Again, just look at the previous prices. Most people would have never predicted 20,000 in 2017. And if you're listening to this now and you're around Bitcoin and crypto at that time, you wouldn't either. Because I remember back in early 2017, Bitcoin was under $800 in January 2017. And less than a year later, in the same year, it rose to to close to $20,000. Now, for us to say a similar rate of return would be insane. It would be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I think that saying $78,000 at a 2,400% of return is very conservative, and I feel like it's very doable and practical. From there, we have no clue. I think we need to take this market cycle by market cycle. Based on the all-time high for this, it could hit higher or lower, and I think that that's going to help us predict the next market cycle, which will roughly be probably in late, like I said, 2026, 2027, 2028, and can hopefully see maybe Bitcoin even hitting hundreds of thousands of dollars by that time, maybe even $1 million, you never know. But this is for pure fun speculation only. I think it's good to know what you think the next price is going to be for all-time high, because you want to be prepared to sell at that time. You don't want to be holding bags. If most people would have sold their Bitcoin here and waited to the market bottom, I mean, that's just an amazing return that you get off that to buy back each market cycle. It takes a lot of patience and time, but definitely a reason why we want to look at historical data and try to predict the future as far as the rate of return and the next all-time high. So with that said, I'm Josh. That is my prediction. I do believe that 78,500 is a very conservative and practical number. If you have any questions, just let me know. Feel free to like or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at Josh_Rager. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. Hope that you guys have a great day and stay safe. Thanks.